Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Andrea Wilson. If this is your first time joining me today, thank you very much. Um, So please make sure that you go ahead and like or share my page, as I like to come on here every Monday just to share some information with you, get you going on all of your real estate needs. So if this is your first time joining me, my name is Andrea Wilson, the broker and owner of Brick House Realty. We're a full service real estate brokerage here in Cleveland, Ohio. We work with buyers, sellers, and of course, real estate investors, bringing you all your tips and resources, your number one go to place. So let's get started today. All right. Thank you for joining me today. Again, my name is Andrea Wilson, and on Mondays I come on here and I give you your market update as it relates to real estate, and the topic changes every week. So you want to stay tuned. It might be an important topic that you want to know about. Always real estate related, though. But today's topic is going to be tips for buying a home in a seller's market. If you kind of been dabbling into the real estate market, you may already know that there is such short inventory and buyers are having a hard time. Finding a home is taking a lot longer than we would all like, but it's possible. We're making it happen. But there's some tips that you want to know if you're thinking about joining into this buyer's market. I'm sorry, the seller's market. There's some things that you want to prepare yourself with, because if this is it's been a while since you purchased a home, or if you're a first-time home buyer, you may have a different expectation of what to expect. And so I have some tips here that I'm going to reference with you and just kind of go through. I think I have about 8 tips that I'm going to share. First things first, determining whether it's a seller's market. If you're a buyer out in the marketplace, you want to understand what type of market are you going into. If you were in a buyer's market, you're going to submit and provide an offer a lot differently than when it's a seller's market. When it's a buyer's market, you can play and see, well, how low is the seller willing to go? Basically, these sellers will be at your mercy whenever it's a buyer's market. They're making deals happen. You're going shopping on the sales rack when it's a buyer's market oftentimes, but we're in a seller's market. So the first things first is, whenever you decide to buy, understand where we're at in the marketplace, because that's going to dictate how you can write that offer and what type of offers will kind of fly in this type of market. You may be used to one thing, and if you're out in the marketplace, everyone wants to give their 2 cents or their opinions on what you can do, because when they purchase a home, things could have been a little bit different. So you want to make sure that you are speaking with a professional, someone who is working in the real estate industry on a daily basis that can give you the most accurate and up-to-date information. So my number 2 tip is going to be to make your best offer. So in a seller's market, you don't have, or may lose out on an opportunity if you go in with your lowest offer and try to say, well, let them come back, or if they come back. It's not that type of market. When you're writing an offer in this seller's market, you want to make sure that you are presenting your highest and best offer going into it. Now, we always get the question of, well, how do I know if I'm overpaying? Then this is where you work with your agent and they can provide you comps. And so you can see what's going on in the marketplace and how much homes are selling for. And don't forget, the property, as long as you're not paying cash, the property is going to have an appraisal on there. So that appraisal is also going to tell you the value of the home. But even with that, a value could come in lower. And as a buyer, you may be willing to cover that difference. You have some cash savings that you want to cover that difference on. You can absolutely do that. But if you're working with a professional agent, they should be able to provide you with some comps so you can get a little history of what's going in on the market. But this is definitely not the market where you kind of play like, let me go in low. You want to go in always with your highest and best offer. And then number 3 is going to be ready to bid. So what happens is when the property is hot, it is hot. So there's some property that's going to sell a lot quicker than other property because it has all the bells and whistles. It has everything. It's been well maintained, well kept. You really want that house. It's in the perfect location. It has all of the amenities that you've been looking for. Well, that same house that you have fallen in love with, there's going to be many other people that are also who have fallen in love with the same house and may want it a little more badly than you. So what happens, they will be willing to offer above asking price, above the appraisal amount. So when you submit an offer, be prepared to be in a bidding situation. Even you offering the offering price or asking price that the seller has requested, sometimes the purchase price will actually even go above and beyond that. So you want to prepare yourself mentally as you're going into this. So understanding where your budget is, how much you're willing to pay, or how badly do you want that house. If you had 5 things on your wish list and that house had all 5 things, it checks off all 5 things, then you may be willing to go a little extra on the offering of that property versus a property that maybe only had 2 of those items on your wish list. So understanding how badly you want this house is going to be an important part of it as well. So number 4 is don't counter. Again, going back to the first couple one, I think it was number 2, and where I said that you want to go in with your highest and best. In a buyer's market, we've seen people kind of go in and just expecting or waiting for that counter offer. So you kind of go in low, you're waiting for that counter. Again, in this market, we don't want to go in for the counter offer. We want to go in with our highest and best offer. To set some expectations on there as well, you can have your agent put like a timestamp of when you want a response. There's been cases where we're waiting for a week for a response back from a seller. You can say your offer is good for 48 hours or whatever it is, because you maybe don't want to miss out on another potential property that's out there. So you can do that, but making sure that you're going in highest and best. Don't expect a counter offer on the property. Sometimes it can happen, but just don't expect that. You want to always, in this market, go in at your highest and best. Number 5 is going to be show cash. So the cash can be in the form of giving a higher earnest money deposit. So if you're not familiar with the earnest money deposit, it is a good faith deposit saying, hey, I'm serious about this property. I promise I plan on moving forward and I'm not going to back out of this deal. And if I do decide, then you're going to be able to keep that money. So on a property that we're going to give a higher than normal earnest money, you have to be sure that you really want it. Now, you could back out like if there was an inspection or any other contingencies that are in the contract, but giving a higher amount on that earnest money kind of gives you an upper leg. You have more skin in the game at that point. So your sellers, I said that correctly. So your sellers are going to kind of put you at the front of the list when they see, like, if all the other contracts have $500 earnest money, but you're offering $2,000 earnest money or $5,000 earnest money, that kind of pushes you to the top of the file. So if you are someone that has some savings or has some cash available, this can also help you win that offer, win that bid on that house. So number 6 is going to be offer non-price factors. So I just touched on it just a few minutes ago in those contingency items. I'm never going to tell you not to have a home inspection done. Maybe something that you can do is you have to check with that agent. They may have already had a home inspection done on the property. So you might be able to check with that listing agent and see if they had a report that they can share with you to kind of eliminate some questions right off the top. But those non-cash factors would be limiting the amount of contingencies that you're writing into the contract. I don't like, some agents will say waive that home inspection. I don't really recommend doing that, just because you never know what could come about without having that home inspection on there. But maybe waiving some of the other inspections, so going with your general home inspection, but waiving like a radon or something else that's a pest inspection, all those extra inspections. And then sometimes, the buyer will have certain requests when they write the inspection. I want the seller to make this repair. So be willing to make those repairs on your own and take care of that, versus putting that off to the seller can definitely help out as well. So that was going to be number 6. So number 7 was have money for a low appraisal. So this is the other thing, people are winning these properties because the appraisal may come in a little bit lower. So if you have the cash available, or if you decided to look in a lower price range than what your pre-approval was, then you have the option to kind of go up to what that pre-approval amount is on there. But as far as the appraisal, if it comes in and you have some cash available, you could pay that difference that are on there. So if the appraisal comes back $5,000 short, you could bring that cash to the table and pay that $5,000 and then get the loan on the rest of that. So that is an option. This is what we're doing right now in the marketplace in order to win those deals. So sometimes it just boils down to, well, how badly do you want that house? Again, if it checked off all 5 things on your wish list, then it might be important enough for you to do that. If it's only a couple items, you're like, I'm gonna bow out now, I'll just keep looking. But that's definitely an option and another tip for you. And then number 8 is consider using videos and letters. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does work. I haven't really had a lot of clients who are willing to do video. Everyone gets kind of shy, but definitely have done lots of letters. And the importance and significance of a video or a letter is because you're not going to be able to talk to the seller so they don't know you. And by writing a letter or doing a video, you can you can make a connection with that seller to maybe something that you said that helped trigger them, that you may not have even written the highest offer, but because of a certain reason, they're going to go with you. I've seen to where the buyer was former military and they wrote something about, their experience or something with the military. And guess what? That seller was also former military. So they had a connection there. And it was important for that seller to want to do or have that hit their home go over to this other former military person or family. So you never know, there may be some sort of connection in there. And in that video or that letter, you're saying why that home would be important for you, how it would help change your life, how you could carry on, if it's a beautiful home, how you would help carry that on for that seller of the property. So that little thing, that little touch, it might sound a little silly, but those little touches definitely help in the transaction. So there you have it. Those are my tips on working, trying to buy a home in a seller's market. I hope you found that helpful there. I want to see you guys back here next week, Monday, joining me, sharing with you more information on the real estate market. The topic changes from week to week, so you never know. You don't want to miss out, but hit the like or subscribe channel so you know when I'm going live. And I hope to see you guys next week. Have a beautiful day. I think it's supposed to start raining this week here in Cleveland. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM, ask me any questions. Happy to answer that for you. And until next time, guys.